था what is biochemistry, what are biomolecules available, and why it is important to study this biochemistry, why these biomolecules are important and all. Okay, so today we will continue, but then before starting, I hope तुम लोगों को कुछ ना कुछ तो याद होगा ही from yesterday's class. So if you are having any doubts from whatever we had covered yesterday, you can ask me right now. Is there any doubt from anyone? कुछ नहीं समझा था, कुछ याद आया बाद में कि पूछना है, ऐसा कुछ है? So you can tell me. If not, I will ask you few questions, very basic questions जो हमने कल discuss किया है, the same thing. Okay. So don't worry, and you need to raise your hands. Okay. So please don't create mess. Raise your hands, and then I will ask you questions. Okay. So the very first question is, what is biochemistry? What do you understand by the word biochemistry? Yeah, Anuj, tell me, what is biochemistry?
Sir, study of biomolecules and the process associated with it is called as the biochemistry.
Yeah, so that's a very simple words and very simple language. So it's correct. So biochemistry is study of biomolecules and the processes associated with it. So that's correct. The next question is, what are biomolecules now? What are biomolecules? What do you understand? क्या हो सकते हैं biomolecules? No one. What do you understand? What? Okay, forget about bio. What do you understand by the word molecules?
Carbohydrates, lipids.
Yeah. So basically that's the only question. But then what I'm asking currently, what are biomolecules? Means biomolecules, the molecules which are basically related to the biology, or basically the molecules which are related to the living life are called as biomolecules. So I'm telling you very simple words so that you can understand it. If you go by a textbook language, you will find very standard definitions which are there. Obviously, there are standard definitions for everything, but I want you all to understand what you want, what we all are trying to study now. So just rectify or mug up karna is not an option, right? We need to understand what क्या है. So biomolecules are basically the molecules which are present or which are involved in making up the living system or the living cells basically. So if you remember, when example लिया था about the unicellular, multicellular and the organelles inside the cell, ये सब हम लोग को पता है कि क्या सेल है, organelles है, different different components है, but ये बनते कहाँ से है? So all these cells, all these cell organelles and the different components which are present inside the cells are basically made up of the biomolecules. Okay. So the next question already someone has answered the question, but I will ask you again now. What are the biomolecules which are present? Okay, first you need to tell me. Okay, so whoever I'm asking the answer, so I will ask you stepwise. So yeah, Ajinkya, tell me what are the two main categories of biomolecules?
ऑर्गेनिक एंड इनऑर्गेनिक.
Yeah, so organics में क्या दो types आते हैं?
ऑर्गेनिक में माइक्रो और मैक्रो, माइक्रो और मैक्रो.
Yeah, so Pranay, what are the macromolecules?
Macromolecules are polysaccharides,
Yeah,
polynucleotides, and polypeptides.
yeah, correct. And what are the micromolecules then?
Lipids and secondary metabolites.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So one more question I'm adding over here. So whoever is knowing the answer, just tell me what are the inorganic biomolecules? What all things are involved in under the term inorganic biomolecules? Yes, Nikita, tell me.
Primary elements, macro elements, and trace elements.
Yeah, so what are the primary elements which are present?
Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So Sahil, tell me what are the micro elements which are present?
Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur.
Yeah. So basically you
हेलो
all
सर,
understood. Huh?
this inorganic biomolecules which is not present in our living organism, na?
No, they are present in our living organism. That's why they are biomolecules.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes.
yeah, so basically they are not like not always present as ions or as an element, but kabhi kabhi wo as a form of some compound or as a part of some complex. So why do we require this element basically? हम लोग को कैल्शियम क्यों चाहिए, हम लोग को मैग्नीशियम क्यों चाहिए? तो बेसिकली मैग्नीशियम कैल्शियम एक्ट एज अ कोफैक्टर. अभी तुम लोग पूछोगे कोफैक्टर क्या होता है. So everyone knows what are enzymes, right? A basic idea. What are enzymes? Ajinkya,
Catalyst.
yeah. So enzymes is a biocatalyst.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the role of catalyst? कि वो reaction को fast up करता है, like fast बनाता है, rapid करता है.
Speed up.
Yeah, speed up. So it was observed that there are certain enzymes which are present inside our body or any living system. जो enzyme present होता है, but they are not present in an active form. तो अगर मुझे वो एंजाइम को एक्टिव करना है तो सर्टन एंजाइम्स रिक्वायर्ड स्पेसिफिक एलिमेंट. तो किसी को कैल्शियम लगता है, किसी को मैग्नीशियम लगता है, और सम एंजाइम आल्सो रिक्वायर्ड आयंस लाइक molybdenum and then sodium and all. So these elements actually play a very important role in such processes. Now other important point, if you say नाइट्रोजन की जरूरत क्यों पड़ती है? So प्रोटीन्स के अंदर भी नाइट्रोजन प्रेजेंट होता है. Like basically न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स के अंदर नाइट्रोजन प्रेजेंट होता है. फॉस्फोरस, इवन प्रोटीन्स हैज अ फॉस्फोरस, न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स हैज अ फॉस्फोरस. तो दिस जो इनऑर्गेनिक एलिमेंट्स होते हैं that will be present inside a living system and that will be used up to make a complex organic system later on. Okay, so that's how the inorganic and organic systems are present. Vaishnavi, yeah, thank you so much. So I hope you understood. Ajinkya, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Then the next question is, lipid is a macromolecule. True or false? Yes, Mayuresh?
False.
True, sir. True.
True. False, sir.
False.
False.
Sir, lipid is a
Micromolecule.
Micromolecule.
False.
Yeah. It is false, as it is not a macromolecule. It is a micromolecule.
Micromolecules.
Micromolecule.
Yeah. So lipids are basically esters of fatty acids and glycerol, and they are micromolecules. But मैंने एक पॉइंट मेंशन किया था about the controversies, but हम लोग को यहाँ पे वो सब मेंशन नहीं करना है. That was just for your information. So lipids are micromolecules. The next question is, what are primary metabolites? Yeah. Asta, what are primary metabolites? Asta, batch 1. No, if you are not knowing, that's absolutely fine. Just say, I don't know. It's okay. Atharva, Darshana.
Yes, sir.
What are primary metabolites?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Anyone who knows what are primary metabolites?
Sir.
Yeah, Ajinkya, tell me.
Sir, primary metabolic. These are the which is helps in our physical functions.
Like what? What kind of physical function?
Sir, yesterday you said reproduction.
Yeah, so mainly these are the molecules which are involved in growth and development.
Yes, sir. Yes, growth and development.
Yeah, so these are the two words you need to keep in mind: growth and development. Yes. Yeah. So the second question goes now: what are secondary metabolites? Yes, Sai, tell me, what are secondary metabolites?
Sir, this is also called specialized metabolites.
Yeah. Examples, any you remember?
Toxins.
Yes. And many other plant products like alkaloids are there, terpenoids are there. You can go to the book, so and you will find many examples. The only point is like the secondary metabolites are not that essential. They are mainly that they are not that essential for the growth and development, and that's why they are called as secondary metabolites. And you have correctly said it includes toxins and other kind of products which are produced mainly by the plants and the other microorganisms. Now the last one, what are the monomers of? And I will say a
Sir,
term and
can you
yeah,
repeat again secondary metabolites?
yeah, sure. So secondary metabolites are the metabolites which are not essential for a growth and development, but still the particular plant or a microorganisms produce such kind of metabolites for a specialized function. So sometimes they require it for defense mechanism, sometimes they require it for protection mechanism. There are different functions for this. The plant use up this kind of metabolites. Okay, so that's why they are called as secondary metabolites because they are not essentially required for growth and development. Is it clear, Hemangi?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So now the next question is, what are monomers of? So I will tell you, I will take one name and you need to tell me what is a monomer form. Okay. So proteins, what will be the monomer for protein? Yes, Mayuresh?
Sir, polypeptides.
Yeah, so polypeptide is also like a kind of polymeric form. So I want to know ये polypeptide बनता किससे है? क्या है
Amino
उसका?
acid.
Amino acid.
Amino acid.
Yes. So it is amino acid. For polysaccharides और carbohydrates क्या होता है? Monomer?
Monosaccharide.
Yeah, correct, Sharon. And the last one is for nucleotide. I'm sorry. Yeah, for nucleic acid, what are the monomers?
Nucleotides.
Yeah,
Nucleotide.
correct. So that means you understood whatever we had done in last lecture. So that's really good thing. I hope you are reading up from the textbook as well. So अगर any term, any particular statement यहाँ पे book में दिया है और तुम लोग को नहीं समझ रहा है, you can just come back to me and we can discuss it in a class. Okay, so now let's continue. तो कल मैंने start किया था with the carbohydrates और मैंने तुम लोग को एक table दिखाया था जहाँ पे मैंने बोला था कि there are three categories: monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Okay, so now we will discuss again that chart at the end of carbohydrates. Now let's go theory wise. So now if I want to say what are carbohydrates, so in a simple words, कल भी मैंने बोला था, they are saccharides or they are also called as sugars. Basically, in a simple words, we call it sugar. I also had given you example of table sugar, that is sucrose, which is a disaccharide basically. Okay, but now let's go थोड़ा और पीछे and try to understand why it is called as carbohydrates and what is the composition basically. किससे बनते हैं ये carbohydrates? I hope you all already know a basic idea or already have a basic idea about it, but then let's have a fast revision kind of thing. Okay, so the very first thing, carbohydrate, the word itself, carbohydrates. If I split the word, it means carbo plus hydrate. Matlab, these are the molecules which are considered as a hydrates of carbon. Hydrates matlab, if you must have heard something in your chemistry, in organic chemistry, there are some compounds which are in a hydrated form. मतलब उसमें extra water molecules रहते हैं. Something like that. But then it is not really a true hydrate. Now, why it is not true hydrate? That you will get to know in the next point. So, carbohydrate, the term comes from the word hydrates of carbon because the molecular formula जो उसका है carbohydrates का, it shows presence of a hydrates molecule, the H2O molecules. Okay, so when we go structurally, these particular carbohydrates are made up of three important elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. A basic structure of all the carbohydrates is includes only three elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and they form a typical structure which gives a general formula of a CX, and in the bracket then you will find H2O, that is a hydrogen and oxygen in a ratio of 2:1, which is similar to the water molecule. Why? Because water का formula क्या है? H2O. So that's why they are called as the hydrates of carbon. So the typical general formula for all the carbohydrate is CXH2OY. Now you will find that the value of X and Y will be different for different types of carbohydrates. If I go for glucose, what are the number of carbons in glucose? Can anyone tell me? ग्लूकोज में कितने कार्बन रहते हैं?
6.
Yeah, 6. So what will be the formula?
C6H12O11.
H2.
Yeah, so C6H12 and
O11.
O6.
O11.
O11.
Okay. Okay, not O11. You will get to know it. I think you are quite confused. So it is C6H12O6, basically a uh, simple formula of glucose, the most simplest kind of structure. I will tell you how the structure is considered and kya molecules are present. So for now, just keep in mind the formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Okay, वो कैसे बताता हूँ. Okay, but what you should understand that the glucose has 6 carbon molecules. Okay, now this carbohydrate, इनका function क्या है? Basically, they are a kind of or a form of energy for us. So whatever carbohydrates we are taking up as a form of our daily diet will be providing us energy. So even if you say, okay, मैं तो we generally don't take glucose directly, right? हम लोग different, हम लोग sugar खाते हैं, हम लोग और कुछ sweets खाते हैं, milk लेते हैं. So all of these have a different kinds of sugars. What happens when they go inside the body? The body will break it down to get a simplest form of sugar, which can be then metabolized and energy will be obtained. Okay. So वो कैसे बनते हैं, कैसे energy मिलता है, that is for now out of scope for this chapter. But what we need to understand कि वो molecules जो हैं, वो बनते कैसे हैं और उसका role क्या है. Okay, so one of the important source of energy in our body is a carbohydrates. Okay, so as I had mentioned yesterday also, basically depending on the number of monomers or number of sugar units जो present होते हैं, based on that there are 3 important categories of the carbohydrates. It includes monosaccharides, which contain a single unit. It includes disaccharides, which means 2 monomers are present, and polysaccharides, which means a long chain of monomers. बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं. It can be 50, it can be 100, it can be even more than that. Okay. Apart from this, you will also find a term oligosaccharide. It is not mentioned in your book, but I'm just telling you because those who are preparing for NEET might come across this particular term oligosaccharide. So oligosaccharides are basically a type of carbohydrates which contains sugar molecules or the monomers in a range of उनका they can include 3 to 10. तो जब भी 3 to 10 units of sugars molecules रहेंगे या फिर monomers रहेंगे, we generally call it as a oligosaccharide. And when they are more than 10, we go for polysaccharides. But oligosaccharides is nothing but a subclass of polysaccharides only. So that's why generally we consider them 3 classes only: monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide. Monosaccharide matlab only 1 unit, di matlab 2 units can be present, and poly matlab more than 2 units of sugar will be present in a particular molecule. Within a polysaccharide, if 2 to 10 molecules are present, we call it as a oligosaccharide. Okay, this is just for your information. I hope this is clear. Now,
सर 2 to 6 होते हैं ओलिगोसैकेराइड.
as far as I know, it is 2 to 10, but if you are saying it's 2 to 6, I will again check it out and will let you know. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, let's go one by one. सबसे पहले आते हैं monosaccharides. जैसे कि मैंने बोला, these are the simplest sugar. Okay, if you go property wise, they are crystalline in a nature, they have a sweet taste. I don't think कि किसी ने भी typical glucose देखा रहेगा. Even the Glucon-D and all whatever we get from the market, they are not a pure kind of chemical like glucose. They have some kind of flavoring agent, some kind of additional chemicals which are present. So that's why that is not a really a pure glucose. But yeah, but then if you see the pure glucose, it is a crystalline structure. You can see a fine crystals in a structure. It is sweet in taste and it is easily soluble in a water. Okay, so most of the, like not most of the, all of the monosaccharides are basically crystalline, sweet and soluble in water. The very important and interesting fact is like you cannot break down the monosaccharides further. So monosaccharide is like a last stop in carbohydrate. वो जैसे वैसे ही metabolize होते हैं. You can break it down, but you cannot, like how you will break it down. So there is something like breakdown of glucose and all. But breaking of a monosaccharide will not give you any further saccharide or any further carbohydrate. जैसे कि हमें पता है कि मैंने अगर disaccharide को break किया तो मुझे monosaccharides मिलेगा. अगर मैंने पॉलीसैकेराइड्स को ब्रेक किया तो मुझे डाइसैकेराइड्स मिल सकते हैं, ट्राइसैकेराइड्स मिल सकते हैं, टेट्रासैकेराइड्स मिल सकते हैं, मोनोसैकेराइड्स मिल सकते हैं. But if I break down the monosaccharides, I will not get any further sugar. I will get some other chemicals, definitely. The glucose can be break down to other chemicals, but I will not get any other saccharides. That's why they have said that the monosaccharides cannot be further hydrolyzed into a smaller molecule. Okay. Now, these are basically building units. अगर मुझे oligosaccharides चाहिए, मुझे disaccharides चाहिए, मुझे polysaccharides चाहिए, we need a particular monosaccharide in our hand. With that only we can make a higher order molecules. Okay, so that's why the general molecular formula for a monosaccharides is CH2ON. Now this N can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6, or it can be 7. When the N is 3, we call it as a triose. When it is 4, we call it tetrose. When it is 5, we call it pentose. What is this number indicating? It is just indicating the number of carbons which are present in a particular monosaccharide. तो अगर 3 कार्बन का मोनोसैकेराइड है उसको बोलते हैं ट्रायोज, अगर 4 कार्बन का मोनोसैकेराइड उसको बोलते हैं टेट्रोज, अगर 5 कार्बन का है उसको पेंटोज, 6 का है तो हेक्सोज, 7 का है तो सेडोहेप्टोलोज. This is the way we actually give a name to particular carbohydrates. Okay, you will find all these names in a chart which we will be discussing at the end of the topic carbohydrate. Okay, so I hope you understand how the monomers are named.
Sir, again repeat na third and fourth point.
Yeah, third and fourth. Yeah, no problem. So मैंने बोला the monosaccharides cannot be further hydrolyzed. Now what is hydrolysis? Hydrolysis मतलब एक compound को break करके दो different molecules or more than 2 different molecules or other compounds can be obtained. Okay, but monosaccharides को अगर हमने break किया, we will not get any further kind of saccharide or any further kind of carbohydrate unit or a sugar unit. It will give us some other kind of chemicals, like there are other products which are obtained from the glucose metabolism or any other monosaccharide metabolism. बट उसको ब्रेक करके हम लोग को वापस से कोई अदर मोनोसैकेराइड या फिर कोई भी अदर शुगर मॉलिक्यूल नहीं मिलता. दैट्स व्हाई मोनोसैकेराइड्स कैनॉट बी फर्दर हाइड्रोलाइज्ड. It can be oxidized, it can be reduced, but cannot be further hydrolyzed. It cannot be break down into other smaller molecules. Okay, so that's what the third point says. Now, these monosaccharides can be used to make the larger molecules. So monosaccharide, 2 monosaccharides को लेके मैं disaccharides बना सकता हूँ, 3 लेके मैं trisaccharides बना सकता हूँ, 4 लेके मैं tetrasaccharides बना सकता हूँ, and if there are more than 10 and 50 or let's say 100, this will give me a polysaccharides. Okay, and that's why the monosaccharides are considered as the building blocks for a complex carbohydrates, because उनके वजह से ही बड़े-बड़े carbohydrates बनते हैं. Then अगर हम लोग जाए from a general formula कि monosaccharides का general formula क्या होता है, so it is a CH2ON. Okay, so now यहाँ पे जो N है, that N indicates the number of the carbon atoms basically which are present in a particular monosaccharide. So let's say मेरे पास, अभी तुम लोगों ने बोला कि ग्लूकोज के पास there are 6 carbon atoms, right? So what will be the general molecular formula for glucose? Just put up the value of 6 at a place N and you will get C6H12O6, which is a molecular formula for the glucose. अगर मेरे पास कोई और मोनोसैकेराइड है, लेट्स से उसके पास सिर्फ 3 ही कार्बन एटम्स है, then the molecular formula will be C3H6O3, and like that, depending on this, the monosaccharides can have 3 carbon atoms, or it can have 4 carbon atoms, or it can have 5 or a 6 or a 7 carbon atoms. Okay, अगर 3 होते हैं तो we call it triose, अगर 4 होते हैं तो we call it tetrose, अगर 5 कार्बन प्रेजेंट है in a monosaccharide we call it pentose, अगर 6 है we call it as a hexose, and अगर 7 होते हैं in a particular monosaccharide, then it will be called as a pseudoheptulose. Okay, so depending on कितने carbon atoms है, we can actually classify the monosaccharides as well. Okay, now it is clear? Hello? Yeah, good. So now that is, अभी जो मैंने classification किया based on trios or like tetros, pentos, जो भी मैं बोल रहा था, that was mainly based on the number of carbon atoms, right? But there are many other ways in which we can classify the monosaccharide. The another way in which we actually classify the monosaccharide is based on the functional group. Do you know what is functional group? I think सब लोगों ने organic
Yes.
chemistry का
Yes.
first
Yes.
yeah, so there are multiple different types of functional groups which are present, but in typical carbohydrates there are two important functional groups which are present. The very first is called as aldehyde. This chemical formula is dash C double bond O H, right? CHO, which is called, and जो monosaccharides say which contains the typical aldehyde in their structure are called as aldoses. Now what are aldoses? The monosaccharides containing aldehyde group in their structure are called as aldoses, and the examples are glucose, xylose. There are many other, okay, you will find many other examples, but for example यहाँ पे दो ही हम लोग ने consider किए हैं, glucose, xylose. You will find galactose, you will find many other different types. Okay, so that is all for the aldoses, which contains the aldehyde group. But there are also some monosaccharides which contains ketone functional group, that is a C double bond O, only the carbonyl group. Okay, and such monosaccharides are called as a ketoses, and the examples are ribulose, fructose. Okay. So what do we understand from this? The monosaccharides can be classified based on two main things. One can be the number of carbon atoms, and the other can be the
functional group.
Functional group, yeah, type of the functional group. So based on the functional group, अगर aldehyde है, we call it aldoses. अगर ketone है, we call it ketoses. Okay, I hope it is clear. You need to keep
Yes, sir.
two examples in your mind. Okay, so keep such examples in your mind. Now that's all about the basic introduction about the monosaccharides. अभी हम लोग step wise देखेंगे different monosaccharides which are present or which are very commonly found in a living cell. So सबसे पहला and the most important monosaccharide is glucose, which is a hexose, basically which contains 6 carbon atoms. Okay, it is very important and the most primary kind of source of energy in a living cells. Whatever we eat, whatever we have, glucose is always considered. अगर मेरे body को मैंने glucose and lactose दिया as a source of carbon, basically as a source of energy, my body will take up or the cells will take up glucose सबसे पहले and then the lactose, because body के लिए easy हो जाता है. Glucose is a monosaccharide, उसको आगे हाइड्रोलाइज करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. बट अगर मैं लैक्टोज ले रहा हूँ विच इज अ डाइसैकेराइड, उसको पहले ब्रेक डाउन करना पड़ेगा, फिर उसके मोनोसैकेराइड्स बनेंगे एंड देन द सेल कैन बी यूटिलाइज दैट मोनोसैकेराइड. सो दैट बिकम्स अ बिट कॉम्प्लिकेटेड वे फॉर अ सेल. दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट द सेल विल नॉट टेक अ कॉम्प्लेक्स शुगर, इट विल, बट अगर कॉम्प्लेक्स शुगर के साथ सिंपल शुगर्स भी प्रेजेंट है, द सेल विल प्रेफर द सिंपल शुगर्स फर्स्ट. ओके, so glucose is one of the very important kind of energy source in a living cells. अगर तुम लोगों ने नॉर्मल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन देखा ग्लूकोज का, सो इन ह्यूमन ब्लड इट इज अबाउट 90 milligram per 100 ml of the blood. Okay, please note it down and try to remember, because such kind of questions can be asked in your multiple choice questions. Okay, so the concentration of glucose in a human blood is 90 milligram per 100 ml of a blood. Okay, अगर हम लोग उसका प्रॉपर्टीज देखेंगे, फिजिकल एंड केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, तो इट इज वेरी स्मॉल इन साइज एंड इट्स सोल्युबिलिटी it is soluble in a water. Okay, because it has a many hydroxyl group. You will see so we will try to understand the structure also. Okay, so it is having a very hydroxyl group which are present, and that's why the glucose molecule is a soluble in a water. As it is soluble in a water, it is very easy for the cells to take up the glucose molecule, because एक बार dissolve हो गया वो पानी में, तो the cell, it is, you all know, cell can pass the water in and out. तो पानी सेल के अंदर जा सकता है, पानी सेल के बाहर भी आ सकता है. So अगर कोई भी molecule is soluble, it becomes easy for a cell to pass such molecules to the cell membrane into the cell. But अगर it is not soluble and it is larger in the size, the cell will not able to allow the molecules to pass through the cell membrane. we all remember in a cell membrane हमने देखा था there are some kind of proteins which are present in a cell membrane. Can you please name those proteins which are present in a eukaryotic cell membrane? Anyone remember those proteins which are present in a eukaryotic cell membrane? No one?
Histone.
No histone, Ajinkya, histone is in a DNA.
Chloroplast.
No chloroplast, Sahil,
Lipid.
chloroplast. No lipid. I'm talking about protein. Why are you telling me lipids, Sharon? Something like canals, integral protein. If you remember.
Intrinsic protein and
In-
extrinsic protein.
yes. So, अगर कोई भी molecules बड़े रहेंगे, so they have to pass through the intrinsic protein which are present, which forms a kind of channel or a tunnel inside a cell membrane. So that is why such kind of process requires energy. And if you remember, two types of transport mechanisms were there.
Active transport
And
passive
passive
transport.
Yes. Very good. So there were active transport and passive. So active होगा तो it requires energy. That becomes a kind of costly process. ना अगर मुझे खुद का energy भी spend करना पड़ रहा है and then I have to get the molecules inside the cell. It becomes a kind of costly process. I cannot afford such process. Or let's say a cell cannot afford such process every time. Though the cell will perform such process whenever it is required. But अगर उसको कोई alternative option मिल रहा है, the cell will not go for such process. And that's where it becomes very important and it becomes very specialized for a glucose because of water soluble है, and water does not require any such specific kind of protein to pass through the cell membrane. So that's why along with the water, even the glucose can pass. However, now I'm just telling you for your information, it is not mentioned in your textbook. You will find even for the glucose, there are very specific transport proteins which are present inside the cells. We call them as the glucose transporters, okay? And the glucose will only pass through such proteins which are present inside the cell membrane. So it is very kind of advanced level of biology which you are not required, but I'm just telling you for information, okay? So this gives the physical and chemical properties of the glucose, which makes it kind of important for from a metabolism point of view. And obviously एक बार अगर वो body के अंदर चला गया, cell के अंदर चला गया, the cell will process it will metabolize it so that it will obtain the energy from the glucose. So it is basically take place via the cellular respiration process. So can you please tell me what are the three important steps in a cellular respiration?
Glycolysis,
Glycolysis.
Krebs cycle, electron
Glycolysis.
transfer rate.
Yeah. So I could hear glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. That's correct. So these are the three important steps in a cellular respiration, which will help us to metabolize the glucose and obtain the energy out of it. So यहाँ पे जो तुम लोग को structure दिख रहा है, that is a typical cyclic structure of a glucose. You will find there are 6 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the one CH2O equal 6. So that's why glucose is a 6 carbon molecule, and it has a carbonyl carbon, that is a C double bond O carbon, which is actually involved in a cyclization process, matlab linear to cyclic form. So I will tell you what is the linear form of glucose and what is the cyclic form of glucose. But for now, just try to understand that this is a typical cyclic structure of glucose. So if someone asks you to draw a cyclic structure of glucose, this is the one you need to draw. Okay, you will study it, I think, in your chemistry also. You must be having a chapter named as biochemistry in a 12th standard, basically, not in 11, but it is there in your book. So in that chapter, you will actually study all this kind of cyclic form kaise obtain hota hai and all. So I will not go in detail at this stage, but it is there in your syllabus. Now, that's all about the glucose. We understand it is important. Then the next important fact, monosaccharide which is present is galactose. Galactose, something you must have heard with respect to the milk, because milk में होता है lactose, which is a disaccharide, but the lactose is, that is actually made up of 2 monosaccharides, that is the glucose and galactose. Okay, so It is very much similar to the glucose molecules, but it is not really exactly similar. Is even though मतलब अगर मैं उसको similar बात कर रहा हूँ, it does not mean कि मेरे पास आज ग्लूकोज खत्म हुआ है तो मैं गैलेक्टोज यूज कर सकता हूँ. नहीं, we cannot replace glucose by galactose, even though it is having some kind of similarity with the glucose. Galactose itself is a different molecule and it can perform a different function, but it can never replace a glucose. Okay, so that's what it indicates, that each monosaccharide which is present inside the cell have a specific function, have a specific role, and we cannot replace them with the other molecules. Okay, now they have said that the galactose can exist in the alpha and beta form. Not only galactose, I will say all the monomers which are present in the like which exist in the nature can be present in either a alpha form or a beta form. Now I know you will be quite confused. ये alpha form and beta form होता क्या है, वो कैसे होता है? So don't worry, we will discuss in a later stage. Okay, but for now, just keep in mind, galactose exists in a alpha and a beta form. Okay, and as I mentioned, galactose forms one of the important monosaccharide in a preparation of lactose, which is a disaccharide. Okay, and we cannot really interconvert them as I mentioned already. But glucose and galactose are isomers. So what is isomers? Can anyone tell me? What are isomers?
Same molecular formula, different structure.
Structure formula.
Yeah, so that is what isomers are. So same molecular formula. Even the galactose have a structural formula of C6H12O6, but then the structure wise, if you look, it is having difference. So you can see this is a typical galactose structure. Agar ye mera, see, you can see my cursor, right? Can you see the cursor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is a carbon number 1. I'm saying this is a 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one. Please observe it very carefully. And now I'm showing you carbon structure of glucose, and you need to tell me at what carbon they are showing the difference. Okay. So submit galactose ka difference structure dekh liya. Now going back to the glucose. So at what carbon do you think there is a difference?
First,
CH2OH.
Yeah, let's forget about the first one. That I will tell you. It is this alpha and beta forms.
ऊपर नीचे, H और OH
हाँ.
ऊपर नीचे दोनों.
Yeah, I got it. What I was saying. So apart from the first carbon, which is the other carbon which is showing the difference?
Fourth carbon.
Yeah. So it is the C4 carbon which is actually different in a glucose and galactose, that makes it different. Now you will say कि अभी Sharon ने बोला कि first carbon with the difference है, so why we are not considering that? So what I am trying to tell you, this form जो glucose का दिया है, that is actually a structure of alpha structure, और ये जो दूसरा वाला structure जो मैं तुम लोगों को दिखा रहा हूँ galactose का, that is a beta structure. Okay. So I know it is quite confusing right now, but I will tell you why they call it alpha or beta, or on what basis they call it alpha and beta. Okay, it is not given in your textbook, but then without knowing उसका basics ही क्या है, just keeping in mind उसके दो forms है alpha and beta, it makes no sense to me. So that's why we will try to understand what is alpha form and what is the beta form. Okay, but I hope you understood what is galactose. Now going to the third important form of the monosaccharide, that is the fructose. Okay, you will find a very common MCQ. Which of the following sugar is present in a fruits? And the answer is fructose, because fructose, the name itself, fructose, something related to fruit. Okay, so that's why it is called as a fruit sugar. And if you go structurally or chemically, it is a ketohexose. So यहाँ तक जो भी structures थे, they were like glucose and galactose, they were aldose. However, fructose is not aldose, it is a ketose. However, it also have a 6 carbons. Okay. Okay, sorry. Hey, so that's why it is a ketose. Okay, and it has a 5 atom ring. However, in case of galactose and glucose, there was a 6 carbon ring. So that is another basic structural difference between the aldoses and the ketoses. Okay. And why it is important? One is it is present in most of the fruits and it will react with the glucose to form the sucrose, that is the disaccharide. ओके एंड व्हाट इज सुक्रोज? इट इज अ नॉर्मल शुगर जो हम लोग घर पे खाते हैं, केन शुगर एंड ऑल, नॉट ऑल थिंग्स इज नथिंग बट द सुक्रोज व्हिच इज अ डाइसैकेराइड made up of glucose and a fructose. Okay, please have a look on a structure now. It is a typical pentose kind of structure, and the carbon, when we start the counting, it starts from here. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, so there are 6 carbons which are present in a fructose. And even if you see, even it is the isomer of glucose, however structurally fructose have a ketone group, but it is still a isomer of a glucose. So fructose, galactose and glucose are the isomers of each other. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, good. So now I hope that is just for your information, but now, like, this is just for information, but then you need to understand it is not that difficult. So मैं हमेशा, like, whenever I was showing the structure, glucose का, galactose का, I was mentioning it is a cyclic form of a structure. It is obtained by cyclization or a cyclic process formation, etc. So why I'm calling it? Because you will find glucose as a linear structure also. So this is a typical linear structure of a glucose, galactose, and a fructose. You can count out the carbon atoms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At one end, you can find C double bond OH, which is a aldehyde group. In case of galactose also, we'll find an aldehyde group at a 1 carbon atom. However, in case of fructose, you will find which group is there in fructose?
C double bond O.
Yeah,
Ketone.
what is called as a
Ketone.
ketone group or a keto group, right? But structurally, it is sorry, but molecular structure wise, it is having a same molecular formula. Now, what are the
Yes.
basic differences? So, as I mentioned, as you have correctly recognized, in case of glucose and fructose, even in case of galactose, so which is the carbon which is showing the major differences? So 1, 2, 3, 4. At the fourth carbon, you will find OH at the right hand side and H at the left hand side. However, in case of galactose, the position is ulta. H at the right hand side and OH at the left hand side. Whereas in case of fructose, again you will say OH at the right hand side and H at the left hand side. So why it is important? I know इतना कुछ one can say कि क्या फर्क पड़ता है वो ये साइड हो या वो साइड हो, how does it matter to me? Okay, I can, yeah,
तो बैकग्राउंड से डिस्टरबेंस आ रहा है किसके तुम्हारे इससे?
from my side, just a minute. Yeah, sorry for that. I hope now the screen is also visible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. So yeah, तो मैं बोला था why it is important. So OH मतलब वो कहीं पे भी हो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, मेरा क्या जा रहा है, काइंड ऑफ थिंग. I don't really understand the feelings. मतलब अभी शायद वो नहीं होगा, but when you will keep on reading and you have to keep in mind कि हाँ कौन सा कार्बन पे H है, कौन सा कार्बन पे OH, कौन सा साइड है. So you will get irritated, kind of थोड़ा टेंशन आ जाता है कि अरे ये क्या दिया है. But then why it is important? Because that one carbon and the position of that one hydroxyl group and that one hydrogen atom can decide a many things. Okay, जैसे कि अभी किसी ने तो बोला था कि हाँ वहाँ पे फर्स्ट कार्बन पे उल्टा है एंड देन एक कार्बन पे वो नीचे है ऊपर है, because changing the position of one hydroxyl group from the first carbon can give a different form, and that's how we decide the alpha and beta form. But then for now, before going to alpha beta form identification, what I want you all to understand is like ये जो कार्बन से the first carbon which is the carbonyl carbon. What is carbonyl carbon? Carbonyl is like the C double bond O carbon जो रहता है जिसको हम लोग carbonyl carbon बोलते हैं. Carbonyl carbon is present in both aldehydes and ketones.
Ketone.
Okay? Yeah, so it is called as carbonyl carbon atom. So whenever I call carbonyl carbon atom, don't get confused. It is C double bond O carbon, which is present both in aldehydes and the ketones. Okay, so this one carbon, which is a part of a carbonyl group, is called as a anomeric carbon. What is it called as? Anomeric carbon. Anomer. क्या बोलते हैं उसको?
Anomeric carbon.
Anomeric carbon.
And no more.
Yeah, now why it is important that I will tell you in the next slide. But then these are the linear structures of glucose, galactose, and fructose, which are the monosaccharides. And when they undergo cyclization or cyclic, there are some processes by which they obtain the cyclic structure. And these are the typical cyclic structures of the glucose, galactose, and the fructose. But if you see the molecular formula, it is same: C6H12O6, C6H12O6, C6H12O6. Okay. So these are the typical monosaccharides which are present in a nature. There are many other monosaccharides which are present, but these are the few common, like most common ones. Okay. The simplest monosaccharides which is present in a nature has only 3 carbons. Okay. So please, this can be also MCQ. The simplest monosaccharide which is present in the nature, how many carbons uske paas hota hai? So such monosaccharide has only 3 carbons and it is called as a triose. Okay, now let's come first to the anomeric carbon. क्या होता है? As I mentioned कि ये जो carbonyl group का carbon होता है, which is this one carbon, तो जहाँ पे जो one लिखा है ना, यहाँ पे दोनों भी जगह पे, this is nothing but the C double bond O वाला carbon, जिसका double bond O is involved in a cyclic, which is a part of a cycle and connected. Okay, so it is a kind of complex process which you will learn in a chemistry in a 12th standard mostly. So I'm not going in a reaction part right now, but what I want you all to understand at this point is like the carbonyl carbon is involved in a cycle formation where the C1 carbon, part of carbonyl carbon is nothing but the C1 carbon and the double bond O wala O is here. So what you need to keep in mind यहाँ पे कि ये जो एनोमरिक कार्बन है, ये जो C1 कार्बन है, इस पे H और OH का पोजीशन कैसे है? H का पोजीशन ऊपर है, OH इज नीचे. दिस पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड एज अल्फा ग्लूकोज. और अगर वो उल्टा है तो वी कॉल इट एज अ बीटा ग्लूकोज. ओके, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? एक में OH नीचे है, एक में OH ऊपर है. एंड दिस इज बेसिकली व्हाट, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज अल्फा एंड बीटा ग्लूकोज. सो if I want to define like these particular structures, how will I say? Based on the substituents, basically like the OH and H on an anomeric carbon, the glucose can be classified into 2 major groups, that is the alpha glucose and the beta glucose. So based on the उनका position कि कौन सा ऊपर है कौन सा नीचे है, we can classify them as the alpha and the beta. So whenever I say alpha, the OH is present at this position. You can see this. नीचे होता है उसका पोजीशन. और whenever say beta, the OH is present उल्टा, that is the OH ऊपर और H नीचे. But all this chemistry जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो कहाँ पे होता है? On which carbon? C1 carbon, which is nothing but a, what do we call a C1 carbon?
Anomeric.
Yeah, anomeric carbon. Okay, so that's what the anomeric carbon in a particular glucose or monosaccharides. And because of this particular one carbon atom, we can classify glucose into alpha and beta glucose. Because similar can be happen in a galactose also. So galactose, if you go for a structure of galactose, the same thing we will see. So now tell me, ये जो मैंने structure दिखाया था galactose का, ये alpha है या beta है?
Beta.
Yeah,
Beta glucose.
Beta.
This is a beta galactose. Okay.
Galactose.
Yeah, and this is, what is this?
Alpha.
Alpha.
Alpha glucose.
Alpha glucose. So now you will understand how the alpha and beta glucose differ, or alpha and beta molecules differ. Okay, it is all based on the position of anomeric carbon. उस पे क्या kind of substitution हुआ है, based on that we generally call it alpha and beta. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now, whenever you start your chemical, I hope you will start your biological practical, or whenever you start your colleges, it will happen soon, hopefully, considering that the next deadly strain of corona will not reach us soon. I hope you all are reading news, right? तुमने सबने पढ़ा रहेगा. There is a one more strain of SARS-CoV-2 is found
Yes.
in UK.
Yes,
That's why
yes,
India
yes.
has banned all. Yeah, do keep on reading all these things. These are very interesting facts. You should all understand these things because we all are biology students. So the basic information.
Amoeba is eating brain.
Sorry.
Brain eating amoeba.
Yeah. So there, because it is affecting so many different organs and all. So it is spreading also fast. It is infecting very
70%
fast.
more.
Yeah, and that's why it is very difficult. So now let's pray it will not reach us. But I heard there are already few people who have come from London and having and they are
Britain.
found corona
Yes.
positive. So we never know. It might have reached the India also. Whatever. So that's a different thing. So let's come. So what I was trying to convey. So there are multiple different assays you will be carrying out in your practical or as a part of your practicals basically. जहाँ पे we do identification कि अगर मेरे पास कोई sample है and I want to do a particular glucose is a present is or not, is not. Let's say मेरे पास एक typical unknown sample है and I want to find out कि वो sample में glucose is present or absent. So I need to carry out some kind of test, right? So this particular test, generally known as glucose detection tests, are carried out, and on what basis basically the detection is carried out is nothing but checking the presence of reducing sugars. Okay, so all the monosaccharides which are present are actually known as the reducing sugars. Why? Because they have a free aldehyde and or a keto group. So because the aldehyde or the ketose functional group are free, they are not engaged in any kind of bonding basically. They are called as a reducing sugars. Okay. When you go for some other higher kind of like disaccharides and polysaccharides, they are not really a reducing sugars because unka aldehyde is a kind of involved in a bonding or connecting the two molecules. वो सब में involved होता है. So that's why they are not generally considered as a reducing sugars. However, all the monosaccharides are a reducing sugars. Okay, so there is a test known as a Benedict's test, which is the name of the scientist who had done this particular experiment, and this test is generally used to detect the glucose. So how this particular test works? So they have used the Benedict's reagent, which is nothing but the copper containing reagent. So what happens अगर reducing sugar present होगा, the sugars will reduce the Benedict's reagent, which is a copper containing reagent, from the Cu2 plus to the Cu plus. So I hope you understand what is oxidation and what is reduction. Can anyone tell me what is oxidation?
Increase in oxidation number, it's called.
Yeah, that is the one definition.
Removal of hydrogen.
Yeah, that is the second definition. There is one more definition.
Adding of oxygen.
Yeah, one more.
Electronegative.
Yeah, not really electronegative related, but something related to electrons.
Adding of electrons.
Adding or loss of electron. What is that?
Loss of
electron.
Yes. So there are four important definitions generally we use for oxidation, which you have correctly said. First one is the removal of hydrogen, loss of electrons, gain of oxygen, and the
increase in oxidation number.
Increase in
oxidation number. Or iska completely ulta if you go is a definition for a
Reduction.
So keep these things in mind. So यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Benedict's reagent का reduction हो रहा है, जिसके पास copper जो था उसका oxidation state was in a Cu2 plus form, but after reduction it was in a Cu plus form. Okay. So how the reaction is happening? It was showing there were transfer of a hydrogen or let's say electron to the other compounds, and the process involved is a reduction. And जब ये process complete होता है, you will observe a color change. So generally I think it's a purplish blue color which is obtained अगर glucose is present. And this particular reaction, अगर हम लोग को ऐसा color मिला at the end of reaction, then we say yeah, glucose is present. If we do not get such kind of color, then we say yeah, glucose is absent. So these are the basic reactions or basic tests generally we carry out to take the presence of this particular monosaccharides in a particular sample, which is based on the presence of the reducing like groups. Basically the aldehyde and the keto group, which are freely present. So that's all about the monosaccharide parts of the carbohydrate, and then we will start with the disaccharide part. But as we already have like it's almost 3-2. So I will not begin with the